way down Whitehead Street. Now if you took a left here side, that's where the Navy base was. There's also the nicest beach on the island, Fort Zachary State Park. That's closed until October because they got hit pretty bad from the hurricane. A lot of people get married there. Traded areas because it was a place to get something to eat. The Green Parrot Bar on the right opened in 1890. It's either the first or the last bar in US 1. When it first opened, it was a nice house. Then a morgue, and then a bar. Here on the left, the Andrew Jackson Square. Then we have a sign up here, Tropical Vacation Land. Behind the sign is the Cape Park tree. The seeds of the Cape Park tree used to make life preservers and pillows. The wood of the Cape Park tree, very soft wood, used to make caskets and canoes. We're going to take a right up here on Fleming. As I take a right, on the right you'll see mile markers here, the most photographed sign on the island, and the most stolen sign on the island. It was stolen about 25 times. This is the beginning or the end of US 1 between here and Fort Kent, Maine, which is 2,309 miles away. Fleming Street, named after John Fleming, one of the original owners here in the island. I think it's one of the nicest streets here in the island. We're going to make our way down Fleming. Coming up on the right, this white building with the purple shutters. It's a guest house now. The Marreros live there. They say the home was haunted. Mr. Marrero bribed his way out of Cuba jail. Made his way here to the island, did really well into the back of industry. He built that home for his wife and children. He dies. He leaves the home to his wife. Well, a month later, there's a knock on the door. Apparently, when he bribed his way out of Cuba jail, he was still married and never got divorced. They went to court here in the island. The court awarded everything to wife number one. Wife number one kicked out wife number two and all the children. And the wife number two said she would haunt the halls. Then come up to what is called the Eyebrow House. That's here in the right. On the other side of the truck, normally this flag's down. The way the roof comes down, it would block the sunlight the eyebrows would. But also you could leave the windows open during the rain. They did that for ventilation because in the 1800s. There's no air conditioning. So we're in the old town section of the island. These homes survived the hurricanes because of the way they are built. These are called concomms. A concomb is built off the ground, so if there's a window water surge, it goes underneath. They're also put together using a tree nail instead of a standard nail. A tree nail is made out of wood. It gives the home some leverage or play during the high winds and lasts as the roof. The roofs are held on by straps, so if the wind got under the roof might come up and down. Now we're going to come up to a light here. You can see the white porch here. If you look up, you'll see the light blue. That's called a paint blue. In the South, they believed if you painted the ceiling the paint blue, the bees would think it was the sky and wouldn't build a hive there and they go into the next porch. Here in the island, it was to keep spirits away. Spirits do not travel over water. But you want to make sure you have all the spirits out of your home before you paint it the light blue. It's 2017, about 80% of the homes here in the island have the paint blue or light blue porch.
And are haunted.
Again, these homes are absolutely beautiful. A lot of architecture in these homes. They've been through many, many hurricanes, so this is nothing new to them. So we're going to come up here, and on the left is going to be a tree. It's a very large tree. I don't know if they cleaned it up or not. The house behind it you could never see before the hurricane. Right here on the left, there was a huge tree there. You can see the tree here.
Wow.
See how it, again, because the roots aren't that deep, but you could never see that house. They're putting a new roof on that house. Before that tree came down, you could never see that house from the street. In front of us, this was military housing here at one point. And when the military built the property here, the homes here, they didn't have to go under the hurricane codes. So, if we were on the other side of the building, you could see where the siding has come off because they weren't built up to code for the hurricane. But again, most of it here is trees that have come down more so than the water. But there are people that lost absolutely everything. There was someone I know that lost 2 automobiles. There's people that lost their boats. People lost a lot of things here. We're going to make our way down here and then eventually make our way back to Miller Square. But remember, the lower of the upper keys have it a lot worse than Key West does. This isn't as bad as what they have. They've got a lot more devastation than we did. And a lot of people that work here in the island live on the upper keys. They lost a lot of waitresses, a lot of waiters, a lot of hotel staff. So we opened on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday was the first day that we opened. And we scattered all over the country. I stayed in Florida, some went to North Dakota, some went to Wisconsin, some went to New York, some went to Pennsylvania, some went to Chicago. We all scattered across the country, and then it was time we came back. We came back. And on Tuesday, I left, and there was a coworker that was supposed to take a flight out of here, and they closed the airport. And I took him up to Orlando. The next morning, then he flew out of Orlando going into Kansas City. So I'm going to take a left up here, and on the right-hand corner will be a White House with 2 porches. The top of the porch along the front and down the left side is called the gingerbread design. This particular design is the captain's wheel. That would indicate that it's shipping or renting captain visits the home. There's also a sign on the fence. That's the Cuban consulate's office, home, and it's out to the dates. There's the Cuban consulate up here. Now you want to build a home here in the 1800s. The closest lumberyard was 700 miles away. You had 2 options. You could use the wood from the shipwrecks that took over, or you could have the home built elsewhere. Many of these homes were built in the Bahamas. They were built in 2 sections, brought here in 2 barges, and put together using tree nails. We're going to pass a home coming down here on the left that was built that way. It was a very common practice here in the island. Many of the homes here in the island were built that way. Coming up here on the left, you'll see the white picket fence on the corner. There was a very large tree that would hang out of there. The tree is gone. This home is built in the Bahamas in 2 sections, right here in 2 barges and put together using tree nails. Then make our way down here. We're going to see a white picket fence on the left-hand side. It'll be number 712 Eaton. They called this the birdcage home because of the design, but it had a famous owner. Let's here on the left, Calvin Klein owned that home. Paid $975,000, sold it 9 years later for $500,000. Today it's worth over $1 million. You should have held on to the home. This home here on the left is still under construction. It's a brand new home. It is all concrete. You can't see that because of what they put on the outside. The home survived quite well during the hurricane. I'm going to come up to a church up here. The United Methodist. It's originally a wooden chapel. They built this church because of the hurricanes. But the person who still wanted to attend service, they built this chapel around the wooden chapel. When they were done, they took the wooden chapel apart piece by piece out the 2 doors. There it is. The tree here in the corner, it's been there since the 1800s. And it's still standing. That's the laurel tree. The Navy left here in 1974. We had a very large VA hospital. They downsized here on the left. This is the VA clinic. This is the only clinic in the Florida Keys. This is the Navy branch. If you are a veteran on the Keys and you need service, you either come to the clinic here in Key West, or you go to the very large hospital up in Miami. I'm going to go over a very small bridge. It goes over the only canal that goes through the island. That is the Riviera Canal. If you live in one of these homes here on the right, you have a boat, you do have access to the Gulf of Mexico or to the Atlantic Ocean. You'll be able to see the canal on the right or on the left as we cross the bridge. Now up until 1949, they would fish for shrimp here during the day, and one night in 1949, a shrimp boat left its net out overnight by accident. The next morning, they bring in a net. It's full of pink shrimp. Pink shrimp can be found at most of the restaurants here on the island. Pink shrimp do not like the daylight. They bury themselves under the ocean floor, and they'll come out at night looking for food. The boats you see here on the left, they'll drop their nets tonight and bring the pink shrimp in the morning. In 1995, President Bill Clinton signed into law the Drive for Westward Law. The Drive for Westward Law meant if you left Cuba on a boat, a raft, an intertube, or any way you wish, you crossed the charted-crested waters here on the left, or if you made it to the island, you can stay in the United States. The Coast Guard or the Navy thought you went between, you would be returned to Cuba. It's New Year's Eve 2016, and they're lighting off the fireworks in Key Largo. A boat arrives. A handmade boat with no engine. It was from Cuba. It was their second attempt. They had already been returned once by the authorities. This time they got to stay because they made it to land. Last summer, a boat pulls up here on the left. The Cubans walk across the street and they're picked up. At the Best Western Hotel, again, this would be Trolley shot number 8 if it was open. But because they made it to land, they were able to stay in the United States. And again, that would be Trolley shot number 8, but there's still, I don't think the hotel was reopened yet. And as we go along the water, you can see the damage from the hurricane as we go. This is beautiful landscaping before the hurricane. Now we're going to make our way up here to Key West International Airport. It's a very small airport and a very short runway. They try to resume service to Cuba. I turned down and went to Fort Lauderdale. The island is currently trying to resume ferry service to Cuba. They have to set up customs immigration, and it may depend on the current administration. But the airport is up here on the right, and then after that will be a red brick building. That is trolley stop number 9. It's the East Martello Tower. We have 3 ports here in the island: the East Martello, the West Martello, which is heavily damaged, and Port Zachary, which is also closed. The East Martello Port, home of Robert the Doll. Again, if trolley stop number 9 was open, you can get off, you can tour the port, and then you can get back on. But they closed that trolley stop. So we're ready. Then coming up on the right will be some palm trees. That's where the salt ponds were. They would take the salt water from the ocean, they would flood the salt ponds. The water would evaporate with the hot Florida sun. They would sell the salt to Virginia, the Carolinas, to the fishing industry until a hurricane destroyed the salt ponds. Straight ahead on the left is the beach. It is Smathers Beach, named after George Smathers. He was a 3-term senator here in the state of Florida. And a close friend of John Kennedy's. That close, it was at John's wedding. The barrier reef out there is 175 miles long, goes from Key Biscayne, Florida to the Dry Tortugas. Because it's a barrier reef, it blocks any waves coming into the island. You have to have waves to make sand. We have no waves, we have no sand. The government buys our sand. We buy our sand from the Bahamas. They bring it here on a barge and they pour it on top of coral. So if you're up here on the beach, you don't have to dig very deep before you hit coral. But the residents on the island ask that when you're done at the beach, you can check out your towels. That way, they don't have to buy as much sand the next time around.